back after another Broncos training camp practice to recap everything we saw out there. I'm with the Hall of Famer Steve Atwater. Steve, another day in pads. It was physical out there again today. Had our first little scuffle of training camp.
We knew it was coming.
It was shut down quickly. It wasn't a big deal. But I think, Steve, I want to talk about today up near the line of scrimmage, because I think both what we saw on the offensive side and defensive side started up there. And let's start with this run game, Steve, because yesterday the defense, I think, held a little bit of an edge. Today the offense came out really strong. Some big runs by the offense. Certainly, you look at Quinn Miners, Mike McGlinchey, that side of attack. It looked more promising and closer to what we expected. When you saw the run game today, Steve, what stood out to you?
Well, what stood out is that the offensive linemen are making holes. They're blocking. They're playing to the whistle. And the defense also, they still play well. They still were getting to the ball. And obviously, we're not taking guys to the ground, so we don't know if, hey, we could have stopped that for a 3-yard run, 2-yard run, or if, it was a 10-yard run. If we're on the field, we'd be able to tell that, but just can't tell from our vantage point. But it's definitely a comeback day for the offense. Yesterday, the defensive line and linebackers, they were stuffing our offense. So definitely happy to see the offense come back and get some retribution.
Yeah, exactly. And Sean Payton, after practice, he said he wanted to see the film first before he talked about it completely. But he did notice some positives from the run game and thought the running backs in particular did a good job of setting things up. Audric Estime, during some 9-on-7 work, he ran right through a safety. You can see his power out there, huh?
Yeah, you can definitely see his power. And you look at him, he has those big guns hanging out. It probably
looks like you.
Intimidates. No, it's nothing like back in the day, maybe, but not right now. And I bet that, hey, it kind of intimidates defensive players when guys come out ripped and, as full as he is, and he has the speed and, got that vision, and he's running hard downhill.
Yeah, Steve. Javonte Williams, I thought, too, looked really quick. He, had some bursts. That's what Sean Payton's been talking about, that he looks sharp out there. Samaje Perine with a couple of good runs. Jaleel McLaughlin, Tyler Beatty. I mean, this is going to be a competitive group, and so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Sean Payton's talked about it a lot, that he sees some good competition there. The defensive line, Steve, they made a real impact in the passing game today, and at outside linebacker as well. They batted down 4 or 5 passes today across some different team periods there. Zach Allen had a couple. Matt Henningsen had one. Yeah. Thomas Nkoum had another. I mean, they were disrupting what the offense was trying to do. And Sean Payton said afterwards, sometimes it's the quarterback, sometimes it's the offensive line. But he also viewed it as more of a positive in terms of defenders realizing, hey, I'm not going to get there. How else can I impact that play? Said it required some savviness. Steve, that it feels like that happens more and more in today's NFL. But how much of a benefit is that when you've got defenders who realize, hey, I'm not going to get there, but I can find a way to still impact this play?
Yeah, it's great that they have that awareness, because a lot of defenders, they'll just rush the passer, and they could be right up on the quarterback, with the lineman in between them, and the quarterback throw the ball right over their head, and they don't have the awareness to just lift your hand up. You can block that, have a batted pass, and help our team get off the field. So having that awareness this early in training camp, I think, is great. As an offensive line, they can stop it. There are ways of stopping that, and I'm sure they'll be coached up on that some.
Yeah, and Zach Allen in particular, he seems to have a knack for it. He's had a strong start to training camp, so that's good to see. Steve, we talked about the 9-on-7s earlier in terms of the run game. While that was going on, there were one-on-ones on the other field, wide receivers versus corners mainly, and Steve, I know it's a little unfair for the defender because they don't know where they're going. There's no pass rush, as Sean Payton said, but some of the highlights from that, Bo Nix had a deep pass to Cortland Sutton that he caught working against Pat Surtain. Jaquan McMillan had a nice pass breakup. Damari Mathis had a good pass breakup down the field working against Troy Franklin. And then maybe one of the more impressive plays, Josh Reynolds caught a nice back shoulder throw from Jarrett Stidham, kind of went up and got it. Steve, what is the benefit of one-on-ones? Is it just from a competition standpoint good to get those guys going and working?
Yeah, well, once you get into the games, the man-to-man coverage for defenders is much easier than it is out there. So you want to have guys in the toughest possible situation in practice, and that's what we're doing with the one-on-one drills. It's extremely tough for the defenders, and but sometimes when they maybe guess right or take away a certain leverage on an offensive player, they can really make good plays. And, that's what we saw today happen. Some of those guys made some great plays on the ball, great awareness, great quickness, that short area quickness. You got to have that when you're playing bump, especially if you're bumping and running those guys. And we saw some good jams on receivers. And we also saw some receivers make some great catches too. So the biggest thing out of it is we got great competition. And I think the guys on both sides of the ball got better today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one other thing that's beneficial too is as this quarterback competition goes on, just getting more reps, right? And so if Bo Nix gets a chance to throw it to Cortland Sutton, or Jared Stidham gets a chance to throw it to Josh Reynolds, or Zach Wilson gets a chance to go out there and sling it, I mean, those are potentially meaningful as we move forward. So that's good to see. Steve, we will be right back here. I'm going to miss you the next few days. Going to have to call in the reserves to help out.
I'll be watching all the videos to make sure that I'm keeping up with it, because I'm super excited and interested in what's going on as well. So, I'm sure you'll keep me posted.
We'll keep you posted. The quarterback competition will roll on. The competition in general will roll on here at Broncos training camp. But for now, for the Hall of Famer Steve Atwater, I'm Aric DiLalla.